Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna put myself on mute and let you guys take it from here. Thanks so much, guys.
no problem. Hey,
Okay.
man, look at
Hey,
you.
how's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Just back on the road, back on tour.
How's that feel?
It's good. It's good. I really missed like performing, so it's been nice.
Yeah, I can imagine. How
Yeah,
long has it been? When was your last show besides this run?
man, I think probably like a year and a half or over a year and a half. So for us, like we toured so much in the last 17 years that having that long of a break was a little weird for us, but it it's like no time had passed though. Like as soon as we got on stage for that first show on this tour, it was like it's like just we've been together so long that we're so used to playing with each other. It was nice.
What'd you do with all that time? I mean, a year and a half,
Yeah, well, a lot of it was writing for the album, the new album in the moment. I had a lot of time to write, and so that was cool because definitely a different experience writing for this new album compared to the last albums, but it was good. And I also had a baby boy, and so I really
Oh
like
man,
enjoyed my
congrats.
fatherhood during this time. Yeah, so it was really nice. Yeah.
What was the difference between writing in the moment and your other, 6 albums prior to this? What was the main difference, as you said?
Yeah, the main difference is that we weren't together. I'm the primary songwriter. I pretty much write everything and arrange everything. I write most of the lyrics. Um, but usually we get together, we track everything live in like a big studio, and that's where the other guys in the band really shine. They kind of try different things and offer different opinions on the actual like tracking and mixing and that kind of stuff. So that didn't happen this album. So we had to do everything remotely. I didn't see them for a year and a half, and but it it being different was also one reason why it was so exciting. It was trying something new, and trying something new is always something we've been about. So it ended up kind of being a cool challenge and came out great.
I've noticed, I really took notice in with this album in the writing, the lyrics. Um, there's so many little gems in there, and maybe it's just the part of my life that I'm at. Um, my, I would have to say one of the songs that really stood out to me is "To Be Younger," and because it's sort of not the what you would expect. In one of the your quotes in there is "My memories define me," and
Mm.
that right there, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like that is what I do. Like I go out and try to capture as many memories as I can because I feel that defines me. Um, for the song "To Be Younger," what was the what was the intention behind that song?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just like the perception of time and just awaiting the birth of my baby boy, and just thinking about time in general. The time that took to get to where I am now, where I'm now, you know, waiting to be a father, thinking about the 17 years being a band and how fast time has gone by. A lot of this album just has to do with this notion of time, whether we have enough time or whether there's too little time in life. And, I always look at it differently depending on the mood I'm in or the situation I'm in. I don't really have an answer, whether there's too little time or we have enough time. But regardless, we name the album In the Moment just because it's a reminder to just be present in the moment, no matter how you're perceiving time. And To Be Younger definitely like means the most to me of all the songs on the album, just because it's kind of a sorrowful song. It's the recognition that time has passed, and there's been times in the past where I haven't lived completely in the moment, and this is a good song to kind of give me that reminder to always be present and fully appreciative of the past, obviously. But it's sort of like where did the time go? It's gone by so fast, and I think a lot of people can relate to that.
It definitely it makes you really question, and especially like I mean, you are very similar in age, and maybe it's a time that we go through in this. Hold on. Okay. Maybe it's a time that we're in, and this time, when accepting the fact that you are human and time passes. Because prior to this stage, it was like, I'm invincible and F everything. And now you're like, shoot, man, I am young. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm older and I'm growing older and I'm learning, I don't know.
yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, when we're younger, time is an eternity, right? Like, is
Yeah.
you don't think about it, you don't think about getting older, and yeah, I think about writing for this album, and especially writing that song, and just looking at everything going on in my life. It just was it made me look at time in a different way than I have in the past.
And it's beautiful, man. I love the journey. When you're writing, do you like just carry your phone or something to and like some cool line comes in your head and you write it down? Or is it like one song and you're grinding out one song?
It always changes. I think if I hear somebody say a word that just sparks something, I'll write it down on my phone, or I'll think about it in my head. But usually, what happens is when I'm writing, I'm just thinking of this melody or this one line in my head over and over again. And there's really not the need to write it down because it happens so many times in my head. I'll wake up in the middle of the night thinking about this melody, or in the morning, or it just constantly just going in my head. So uh, the way I'm able to remember all the lyrics to the songs is because of the way they're written. It just circulates in my head constantly. So it's both a great thing and also a tough thing when you want to get sleep, and then you can't because it just consumes you too much. So that was definitely the case with this last album. All these songs just got stuck in my head that I couldn't sleep after a while. I had to I had to kind of remove myself after the whole thing was done. But it's every song's a little bit different. I would say one of the most inspiring things on the road is just seeing other people perform, or just seeing other live music. That's such a great way to get the creative juices going, and that everybody's got their own unique talent and their own specialty that you know I was just talking about it with somebody the other day. Like, I've never ever gone to a live show and had a bad time. Like, even if it was a band that I wasn't super into, an artist I wasn't super into, just going to see live music is just, man, it's just now I get why people are so ready to come out to these shows. It's people really miss that in their lives. They miss that emotion of just live music.
Definitely. In this one right here, this album, eh, no disrespect, this is one of my favorite albums you guys came out with, if not the like, if not my favorite.
Uh,
And maybe it's just a point of life on that. I don't know. Another one that really touched me or stood out to me is Initial. Um, and one of the lyrics you said that really got me going is settles the storm, not fuels the fire.
hmm
And I know what you're talking about. Like, I've dated those girls who just fuel the fucking fire, stir the pot, and then with my wife now, one that calms me down, one that consoles me, one that keeps me going. As a rock star, is it tougher to be open for love because it's such a fairy tale? It's easier to get a girl. It's easier. You don't have to play the game that much. Has it been harder or easier? What is your take on that?
Yeah, well, I think it's hard to find someone that doesn't just view you as this image, or like a rock star or something like that. I mean, everybody in our band, we're all pretty mellow, like down to earth people that you know, we're not like your typical you know, VH1 behind the scenes rock star kind of thing. You know, we have a very deep connection with like our fans. It's a very personal connection through the music, the live experience. You know, we just kind of showcase who we are, and I think that's one reason a lot of the people identify with our music. It just, you know, I feel like, especially this album, it just feels like an honest representation of like who we are, and I think people really pick up on that and feel, you know, they feel connected to the band in that sense. Um, but you know, as far as like finding a partner that you really get along with, you know, it's someone that really has to see you for you and not like that certain image, you know, and just see that honesty. And that's how it's always been with my wife. And that song is really, you know, a dedication to her and what she does. Like you said, you know, being able to settle you down when you're so, I don't know, when life is crazy, you know, having a partner like that is just truly amazing. You know, I hope that I do that for her, but I know she does for me.
Sweet, man. I appreciate it. That's a awesome answer. Do you have a funny story that took place while creating this album?
Um, well, you know, that song, I don't know why I'm thinking about that song, but you know, the initials, I think I said this in another somewhere else, but when I was a kid, kids would write their initials of their love, you know, in a blacktop or in the sand, and so that always stuck with me, you know, writing your initials. And when I liked this girl back in the day, and she wrote her initials with somebody else in like a heart, and I went to go look what she had written down, and my initials were not in the heart, you know, they were not inscribed on a rock or
Yeah.
in whatever. So like that song always really like makes me laugh because it reminds me of just like, you know, like the young experiences. So anytime I perform that song, it just kind of makes me crack up.
Yeah, I had this a similar experience with this girl named Tracy when I was in like eighth grade, seventh grade, or whatever. And she did that on the table of this guy who was Brandon. Asshole, man. I hated him. So when I saw that, I went over there, scratched that shit out. You don't love him, you love me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's where you learned about love, right there.
Yeah. For sure. Um, all right, just a couple more questions. Do you are you stay in California?
Yeah, I live in Santa Barbara now.
Santa Barbara? Cool. Yeah, we're Ventura.
Hey, nice.
When you guys went to theater, you know, Marley came in because our theater, our station's right there by the Ventura Theater, and Marley stopped in and said hi to us. That was
Oh,
real
nice.
awesome of him. Like I've never forgotten that. Like he
Oh,
didn't
that's
have to. He just came in and he hung out with us. So it's really dope. All right. Is there any TV shows that you ended up binging or that you really like?
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I've been watching that. It's a really funny show that Lil Dicky wrote. It's called Dave. It's
Uh-huh.
and it sort of like paints a picture of like kind of the Hollywood like music industry scene, and it's just really funny. He's got, uh, but he actually paints a really good picture of what like a touring lifestyle is like, or writing in the studio, and so I really relate to that show. Not that Rebelution is really in sort of the mainstream kind of scene, but there's a lot of stuff that we can relate to. I really like that show. I'm trying to think what else I've been watching. Man, I haven't had a lot of time. It's crazy. Like, and if there's any free time, I'm like sleeping at this point. Like with a baby and you know, a family of five actually, and so you know, like I live a pretty suburban lifestyle these days now. I live in Santa Barbara. I like, you know, I garden. I like cook for like the family and stuff. Like I don't live that like rock star lifestyle that people think that we live.
Do you get worried about your plants when you're on the road?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah,
I'm
100%.
growing pumpkins right now, okay? And
Oh
one of my
nice.
asshole dogs went in the backyard and ate one of the goddamn pumpkins. I'm already having a hard enough time trying to make sure they come because I don't have enough female plants. I just have a bunch of males. And I had four pumpkins. and my asshole dog ate one, and I this morning, and I'm so heartbroken. And then when you said gardening, I'm like, oh my god, I wonder if you're obsessive like me.
I am, yeah. Like if I leave town, I'll be like, hey, did you water the plants today?
Yeah,
Did you water this one? You know, the amount of time.
yeah.
Did the sprinklers work? You know, all that kind of, yeah. It's great though. I mean, it's actually something that gardening and raising a family are like kind of similar things. You know, you take care of your garden the way you would like nurture, you know, a kid. You know, you want to make sure everything is they're getting food and all that kind of stuff. So it's a really nice parallel.
It really is. And every morning I go out there, and every night I go and I tend down on them the same way. You know, I go up to their room and say, hey, how are you guys doing? Do you have a good day? What does the homework look like? How was football practice? Things like that. I mean, very,
Yeah,
very similar.
yeah.
All right. If you had to take one bandmate to be on Naked and Afraid with, who would you pick?
That's funny because I was thinking of Naked and Afraid as for the last question. I haven't watched that show for a long, long time, but we were talking about it with my family last night. That's funny you said that. If I had to take one, gosh, who's the best survivalist in the band? I don't know. That's a good question. Um, I feel like Wes Finley, our drummer, man, he's like super outdoorsman now. The whole naked thing might be a little weird, but you
You guys
know,
can take a loincloth. That's fine.
yeah.
We'll amend this question.
No, yeah, Wes is like really, he does these outdoor, you know, backpacking trips for, you know, up to a week to 2 weeks sometimes.
Oh,
So he would
gee.
be the guy, man. I would rely on him to help us survive.
I was thinking Marley, because his family was a bunch of hippies growing up, you know.
That's
So,
true, but
and they were
he
part of the
hasn't,
commune.
that's true, that's true. But he hasn't been back in that scene for a long, long time. I think
You might
he
have
wouldn't know
forgot how to
what to
build a
do
fire.
now. Yeah.
All right. Two more questions. Sports. Do you like any sports?
I do, yeah. I like a lot of sports.
Uh, what's your favorite sport?
To play in his, you know, throughout my life, soccer, but I love watching basketball. I'm a big Bay Area sports fan,
Oh
so
no,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a Laker
Are you
fan.
a Laker fan? Yeah. Well, I'm a Warriors fan, I'm a Niners fan, and I'm a San Francisco Giants fan. But but you know what? I mean, yeah, the only are you a Dodgers fan?
No, I'm a Yankee fan.
Oh, okay.
My
Well,
dad's
yeah.
from New York. I'm a Buffalo Bill fan.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully they win. Hopefully they win sometime
Hey
soon.
man, this year is looking good for them.
I was actually saying to a friend, I think this might be the Bills' year.
Oh, I hope so. I can't wait. Um, well, my best friend is a San Francisco 49ers fan, so I'm always rooting for you guys, especially with Trey Lance out there. He's just slanging them.
Nice, yeah, we're hopeful. We actually have a lot of Niner fans that have are fans of the band that played for the Niners. A guy named Patrick Willis,
Oh
who
my
retired.
God, the best linebacker of all time besides Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis.
Yeah, well, gosh, he was really. I mean, yeah, I couldn't believe that he was a fan of Rebelution. I know Marley has talked to him several times, and sometimes he posts about our songs. And then another guy, Joe Staley, is a good friend of ours. And
Yeah, he's awesome.
yeah, a lot of the offensive line, all these really, really big dudes love like really mellow reggae music. It's pretty cool to see.
That must be the greatest thing in the world, because I can imagine, like, oh my goodness, Josh Allen's reading No Cover Magazine. Like that would be, oh, I would just stop working. That's like the highlight of my life. You can't get better than that.
That's great. Well, it's cool when you see like athletes and musicians link up because the lifestyle is similar in a sense. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of time away from home. I think that's why we can relate to each other. You know, a lot of musicians want to be pro athletes. A lot of pro athletes want to be musicians. So
Yes.
get to share experiences.
All right. And here's my last question. Um, I have a second question. If you are you into at all like DC Universe or um Justice
Yeah,
League?
I don't know a lot about. I know more probably more about Marvel than I do. DC universe, but a little bit. My sister would know everything, and so she fills me in on a lot. But yeah,
So the guys in the office, we have this ongoing discussion. Who do you think would win, the Scarlet Witch or the entire Justice League?
oh man, uh, I wouldn't be knowledgeable enough
Okay,
on
so we'll go
voicing.
to the next one. Who would win, Winnie the Pooh or Paddington Bear?
Wait, which one is Paddington Bear?
The British one.
Oh
He
boy,
has a
I'm
little hat
sorry.
on.
Oh, wait, I don't know if I know what you're talking about, actually.
Okay.
Paddington Bear. I have to look it up. Is there a
All right,
third
we'll go to
question?
the next one. Who would win, Dexter or Hannibal Lecter?
Okay, I know this one. I
All
think
right, come
Dexter
on.
would probably win.
All right, me
Dexter
too.
would win that one.
I
Yeah.
agree with that one. Eric, man, I appreciate you. It has been an awesome interview. I love talking to you. I'm so supportive. I'm so hyped on this album. Good luck
Thank
with
you.
it. You're amazing. Katie, thank you as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
Right
guys.
on.
Appreciate it.
All
Yeah.
right, have a
Thanks,
good
Tim.
one.
Have fun. Okay. Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Bye
Bye.
bye. playing in them.
Nice. Yeah, we're hopeful. We actually have a lot of Niner fans that have are fans of the band that played for the Niners. A guy named Patrick Willis,
Oh
who
my
retired.
God, the best linebacker of all time besides Ray Lewis, Patrick Willis.
Yeah, well, gosh, he was really. I mean, yeah, I couldn't believe that he was a fan of Rebelution. I know Marley has talked to him several times, and sometimes he posts about our songs. And then another guy, Joe Staley, is a good friend of ours. And
Yeah, he's awesome.
yeah, a lot of the offensive line, all these really, really big dudes love like really mellow reggae music. It's pretty cool to see.
That must be the greatest thing in the world because I can imagine, like, oh my goodness, Josh Allen's reading No Cover Magazine. Like that would be like, oh, I would just stop working. That's like the highlight of my life. You can't get better than that.
That's great. Well, it's cool when you see like athletes and musicians link up because the lifestyle is similar in a sense. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of time away from home. I think that's why we can relate to each other. You know, a lot of musicians want to be pro athletes. A lot of pro athletes want to be musicians. So
Yes.
good to share experiences.
All right, and here's my last question. I have a second question. If you are you into at all like DC Universe or um, Justice
Yeah,
League?
I don't know a lot about. I know probably more about Marvel than I do DC Universe, but a little bit. My sister would know everything, and so she fills me in on a lot. But yeah,
So the guys in the office, we have this ongoing discussion. Who do you think would win, the Scarlet Witch or the entire Justice League?
oh man, I wouldn't be knowledgeable enough
Okay,
on
so we'll
what
go
you're.
to the next one. Who would win, Winnie the Pooh or Paddington Bear?
Wait, which one is Paddington Bear?
The British one.
Oh boy,
He has a
I'm
little hat
sorry.
on.
Oh, wait, I don't know if I know what you're talking about actually.
Okay.
Paddington Bear. I have to look it up. Is there a
All right,
third
we'll go to
question?
the next one. Who would win, Dexter or Hannibal Lecter?
Okay, I know this one. I
All
think
right, come
Dexter
on.
would probably win.
All right, me
Dexter
too.
would win that one.
I
Yeah.
agree with that one. Eric, man, I appreciate you. It has been an awesome interview. I love talking to you. I'm so supportive. I'm so hyped on this album. Good luck
Thank you.
with it. You're amazing. Katie, thank you as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
Right
guys.
on.
Appreciate it.
All
Yeah.
right, have a
Thanks,
good
Tim.
one.
Have fun. Okay.
Take
Bye-bye.
care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.